Be just give me 1 second. My computer is not.
Okay, you are all set and ready to go.
Thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of Community Planning and Economic Development to order. The date is February 18th and the time is 8:02. I just want to acknowledge, I don't think anyone else has come on, acknowledge people around the table, the committee members, Counselor Barry Walters, Counselor John Lyons, we have Mayor Sherry Cantor, Counselor Ben Winograd, Counselor Jason Wang, and Counselor Gail Harris. We also have our town manager, Rick Ledwith, Dwayne Martin, Director Community Development, Greg Summers, Town Engineer, Parker Sorensen from our Engineering Department, and I believe I see John Phillips, our Director of Public Works on, so he's making a special guest appearance today. He's our, okay. And I believe that is everyone. The first item of business is the approval of minutes for January 21, 2026. Can I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
And a second? You're on.
Madam Chair, I'm so sorry. I'm
Oh,
driving.
no, that's fine.
A little trouble unmuting. Yes, I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we will move on to item B, which is the 2025 Vision Zero Annual Report. And I'm going to turn it back over to our town manager, Rick Ledwith, to get us started on that. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. Great to see everyone. Very pleased to introduce our second, hard to believe, Vision Zero Annual Report, and combine with our Complete Streets Report as well for the first time. So, and this captures progress that we've made in 2025 towards our goal of zero deaths and zero serious injuries on our roadways as a result of traffic crashes by 2033. And as you'll see in the report, and as we'll demonstrate today, we've completed nearly 250 projects over the last year designed to make our streets safer for everyone. So pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists as well. So, and these projects range from quick build projects to raised crosswalks, speed humps, road diets, and many other really targeted safety changes in identified high-risk corridors. And each of these projects reflects a data-driven approach and really a commitment to proactive prevention. And the report also, as we get into, will highlight and outline our 2026 projects that will help build on the momentum that we're really building on right now. And when you combine all of these projects, engineering changes around town with our continued implementation of our speed enforcement camera program and our soon to be implemented red light camera program, we really expect to see shifts, not just in crash statistics, but in driving behavior and really overall roadway culture in town. And we've talked about that culture change before. And changing this type of culture takes time, but we are really beginning to see encouraging signs that our strategy is working and will work. We've also talked about Vision Zero not being a singular department initiative. It's a town-wide commitment, and it starts with our mayor and our town council, as well as a number of departments that we work with. And I talked about this yesterday at our directors meeting. It's one of those projects that really touches so many different departments, and I'm really proud of the collaboration between our engineering division, planning division, public works. John Phillips is with us this morning. Most of these projects that we accomplished this year don't happen without that collaboration, particularly with public works, who work so hard, especially on our quick build projects. Our police department, our fire department, public relations with Renee McHugh, community engagement with Adrienne Billings-Smith, all together combined, we all share a sense of purpose that have made this one of the most important and impactful initiatives I think that we've undertaken as a town. So, and safety, as we've talked about as well, is fundamental to the quality of life and continuing to build community trust. And this report that we'll walk through today demonstrates that we are making progress and that we will remain fully committed to reaching Vision Zero, hopefully before 2033. That is our goal. So through you, Madam Chair, I will turn things over to Parker Sorensen. And Parker, his leadership has been instrumental in our Vision Zero efforts. So appreciate everything that Parker does every day to continue to move us forward. So Parker will summarize the report for our committee this morning. And once Parker's done, we will turn it over to the committee, and we will be happy to walk through different parts of the report if needed, or certainly ask any questions that the committee would have. So through you, Madam Chair, I will turn things over to Parker. Thank you, Parker.
Gotcha. Thank you. Good morning, Rick, and to all the counselors. Just technical question. Should I share my screen for the report? Okay, very good.
I think that'd be great. Yeah, thanks, Parker.
2 seconds here. See if we can make this full screen. And just a confirmation that looks okay.
Yep.
Good. Thank you. Rick gave us such a great introduction and essentially covered everything on this slide. So I'll just dive in. There's about 30 to 40 pages, so quite a bit of content. I'll just try to hit some of the highlights as we go through the report, and certainly can dive into more detail and questions towards the end. First, want to take a look through the Vision Zero action plan status. So if you recall, the action plan adopted in early 2024, there was a range of, I think, about 70 actions, and they had target dates. So you want to always be benchmarking to where we are in terms of each of the categories, from practices and policies, safe design, culture, and data, and where the action plan kind of had us targeted. So you note that we've still been playing some catch up. There are specifically like the culture category. There's a need room for growth here, and just want to highlight our pending Safe Streets and Road for All, the larger one. The second one we've got, which is really just been initiated, really is intended to capture some of those actions. So hopefully as that project comes online, we see some of those actions going from pending to completed. In terms of Vision Zero spending, just over 2.1 million in 2025 across several categories such as sidewalks, crosswalks, traffic signal upgrades from push buttons to signal detection, etc., pavement marking signage, quick builds, and bike facilities. We did do a look back in terms of crashes for 2025. Just want to highlight that unlike last year, we are lagging behind in terms of reporting for 2025 crashes. So what we've done is reported out our fatal and serious injury crashes as as a preliminary number in coordination with the police. So we think we're sitting at about 24 for 2025. That was sadly two tragic fatalities in June, both pedestrians as listed there. I'm sure all are aware, as well as about 22 serious injury collisions. For the minor injury crashes, it simply was not complete in the data. So you see a range of 277 to 312. That's based on where we think we might land based on the first 9 months of the year. Again, checked with PD and they're pretty comfortable with that number as well. But the minor injury crash is a slight tick down from 2024. In terms of the fatal crashes, there's 2 pedestrian crashes. Again, as previously mentioned, in the 22 crashes resulting in serious injuries, 2 of which were pedestrian, 5 were bicyclists, and the remaining 15 were motor vehicle. And just want to note, one of the 15 that's classified as a motor vehicle was a motorcycle / moped. In terms of specifically vulnerable road user, VRUs, or the bicyclist and pedestrian crashes of any injury type, we had 24 preliminary number in 2025. So you'll see that mapped to the right, and quite a bit of alignment to our Vision Zero network. As mentioned, the 2 fatalities, the 7 serious injuries, and then the others were 12 were of injury of a minor type, and then 3 were no apparent injury as coded by the police. Discuss some of our projects. As Rick mentioned, we had 225 Vision Zero projects that we completed in 2025. Thank you, John Phillips on the call. Thank you to the Public Works team. They really did a tremendous job really tackling all the projects that we gave their way. So lots of appreciation to the Public Works team there. Just as you can see from the map to the right, it's our 2025, like where all projects were. It's pretty widely dispersed through town. Those are just projects just completed in 2025. And as a reminder, we do have a interactive map on our Town Vision Zero website. You can go and filter by year complete, upcoming, and certainly type of treatment at each of these locations for more detail. We had 20 quick build projects in 2025 that we completed, whether it be curb extensions where we had 13. So that was an example of Quaker Lane South at Kingswood Road. Quick build pedestrian refuge islands. This example is from Starkle Road right at the West Hartford Senior Center, crossing over to the Fellowship Housing, and quick build medians and hardened center lines. Just a note, I have some comments in here as to what's really intended, that these really are intended to remain in place until such time they can be replaced with similar permanent infrastructure if they're deemed successful. We had about 9 that we are on track to make permanent, 5 on Sedgwick as part of the Sedgwick Road reconstruction, 1 on Park that's included in the total up above here, and 3 others, whether it be Quaker Lane South being resurfaced, getting permanent installs with a resurfacing project, or Starkle Road thought is to bring that permanent as well. And just wanted to highlight, we did have 2 modifications we had to make throughout 2025, whether it be by just congestion concerns, or we had some concerns from the West Hartford Fire Department. And just highlighting, we were able to go through one of the values of the quick build process. We're able to go out in the field and make those changes relatively quickly to accommodate negative impacts and concerns. In terms of other Vision Zero projects that we've had in 2025, 12 raised crosswalks throughout town. Many school areas, areas with crossing guards, commercial areas have received raised crosswalks. Just as a reminder, very good statistics in terms of 90% reduction in travel speeds of over 40 miles per hour at those locations. We did a study here on Boulevard when those installs went in, so very good results there. 17 rectangular rapid flashing beacons, RRFBs, or just simply crosswalk warning lights, those yellow wig-wag warning lights at crosswalks. 2 road diets and lane reconfigurations were installed. So this picture is from Kane Street, just east of Oakwood Avenue, but also Troutbrook Drive, southbound approaching Park Road was reconfigured as well to reduce the need for lane changes approaching Park. Horizontal curve signage upgrades and 5 accessible pedestrian signals, or APS. One location didn't have any pedestrian signal heads before this project. That's Quaker Lane South at Boulevard as shown. Additional projects include 20 intersection daylighting projects, so simply with signs and paint peeling back parking from intersections to improve visibility for motorists and non-motorists alike. And those were predominantly on Farmington Ave, the entire stretch kind of from the center all the way to the Hartford City line. We've installed a dynamic no turn on red sign. This is Asylum Avenue at North Main Street. So this will illuminate during the pedestrian phase. And the idea is to mitigate against right turn on reds against potential conflicting pedestrian. 16 intersections were updated with clearance, updated clearance interval time. So that's your yellow and all red phase. And that was through a DOT-led initiative where we partnered with them. 53 intersections in town received reflective backplates. So you see your yellow border here. So all eligible signals in town have the backplates now. And that's a proven safety countermeasure from Federal Highway. And 4 bicycle lanes were installed on Asylum Avenue, Kane Street, King Philip Drive, and Quaker Lane South, following previously planned roadway resurfacing and reconstruction. So again, I have a full list and certainly can discuss more in questions. As Rick mentioned, certainly Vision Zero recognizing it's a multidisciplinary program. So have some content in here about education enforcement highlights through 2025. Renee's been very busy in 2025, pulled this slide together for me. But just some highlights. There was 18 events that Vision Zero items were distributed at throughout 2025. They've distributed in 2025 10,000 reflective armbands, which is shown here on your right, and 2,500 car magnets. So the idea is there's 400 people that took the Safe Driver Pledge, and you can elect to take a magnet as part of that. And then 2,500 reflective vests were distributed as well between October 1st and February 1st to align with daylight savings and just loss of daylight. The education campaign was really multifaceted. Certainly, I'm sure many have seen the social media posts. There was quite a many posts in summer, reaching 63,000 views, and the number of followers increased from 5,000 to 9,000 in 2025 alone. So again, trying to get that message out about the shared responsibility of Vision Zero from all users. Just highlight whenever we did a Vision Zero project, especially some of the quick builds, we frequently put some of the yard signs out so people had a sense of what was coming. And unshown here, we also have a permanent version of the sign on some of the like crosswalk warning lights with QR codes that can point people to Vision Zero website content as well. In terms of enforcement highlights from the police, this came from Sergeant Life at the police department. Just highlight the number of motor vehicle stops is up 21% in 2025 2025 versus 2024. Many were familiar with some of the targeted enforcement days and some of the press releases that were released around that from the police department. They've added 2 additional officers to the traffic division, so the unit now consists of 8 officers and 1 supervisor. And just highlight too, automated enforcement will become kind of part of this enforcement content as we move forward. And again, we're hoping for 2026 implementation for speed cameras and probably a late 26, 27 for red light cameras. As Rick mentioned, we have folded in the complete streets report into this report moving forward. Just some highlights from sidewalk and ramp improvements. About 1.8 miles of sidewalk were replaced in 2025, 33 sidewalk ramps, and 152 sidewalk locations repaired with saw cutting. So if they're misaligned, they can saw cut them to reduce trip hazards. About 725 outstanding requests at the beginning of 2025 for poor sidewalk condition. We're about even. 150 were added in 2025, and we've accomplished about 150 throughout 2025 as well. So it's still 725 outstanding requests as of December 31st, 2025. Just want to note, we certainly highlight some of the other projects that we've included in Vision Zero, such as additional crosswalks, RRFBs, raised crosswalks, and APS. In terms of bike facilities, this is a table that we've kept consistent throughout the complete streets report. We've added about 3.9 miles of bike lanes, as previously mentioned, on those 4 streets. There were previously sharrows on some of those streets, so that's why you see a negative number. Those sharrows go away. So where there's a, the bike icon and kind of like the two carrots, and it's just a shared lane. That's why you see a negative number up on top. I just want to highlight, we've added, see a jump in our paved multi-use trails. We've added all the trails that can kind of contribute to the bike network, such as behind Bugby School, that are paved. Those were previously unaccounted for. It was really just the Troutbrook Trail. And we've also updated this map to include the paved multi-use trails in MDC, Elizabeth Park, certainly just acknowledging that those certainly are bike contribute to the bike network and our destinations for bicyclists in town. The map to the right has been updated as of this month, and just highlight that this is on the bicycling section of the engineering webpage. So if you want to download this, and this will be getting updated on our town GIS shortly as well, and coordinating with the folks at our GIS provider to make that happen. In terms of the bicycle plan completion status, as you may recall, we have adopted 2024 bicycle plan. It lays out essentially where all the bicycle facilities are and are planned to be. So simply just taking a look at, well, how do we stand with the 2024 bicycle plan? We're about 45% complete town-wide when you take a look at both town roads and state roads. Certainly want to highlight, town roads are the facilities that the town has the greatest ability to advance projects and make changes. And on those town facilities, the bicycle network is about 63% complete. In 2026, the town anticipates installing an additional 6.2 miles of bike lanes, and that's going to anticipated to raise that percentage up to 73% of the town roads are going to be complete per the 2024 bicycle plan. And that includes the New Park Ave Complete Streets Project, the Troutbrook Trail Connector up to Main Street, Sedgwick Road reconstruction, Park Road reconstruction, and Quaker Lane South resurfacing and restriping. For this year, we wanted to take a look. We know we've made a lot of progress in terms of the bicycle network, and we wanted to take a little bit of a look and benchmark and compare ourselves to what else is happening around the state and how do we line up. So just first highlight the bar graph to the right is reporting roadway centerline miles with bike lanes or shared use paths. So you see bike lanes as blue and shared use paths in orange per community. So for example, Hartford is sitting here at 23.8 miles of bike lanes and about 2.3 miles of paved shared use path. West Hartford, based on the data that we had from OpenStreetMaps, we believe we're really at the top community here in terms of mileage in the state at this point in time. About 20 miles bidirectional is a little bit of a different metric here of bike lanes, 7 miles of paved shared use path that the town maintains, an additional 8 miles that paved shared use path that the MDC and City of Hartford at Elizabeth Park maintains. So really good statistics there. So we're doing pretty strong in terms of the bike plan, and just wanted to show it visually and how we connect to other facilities regionally. Moving Vision Zero forward. So as Rick mentioned, we have a busy 2026 plan. Just wanted to spend a little bit of time on just some of the highlights and what we anticipate. Speed and red light cameras. So again, looking at speed cameras at approximately 15 locations bidirectional, as well as red light running cameras at 8 intersections. Dynamic no turn on red signage. We saw that for Asylum in North Main has been installed. We expect an additional 8 signs will be installed at 4 intersections in 2026. Crosswalk warning lights or RFBs, an additional 13 additional locations are planned for 2026. Quick build projects. So as we take down and make permanent old quick build projects, putting out new quick build projects, certainly have a list of about 10 or so in the back here. Street lighting, we continue to make improvements for street lighting and look forward to improvements on New Park Avenue, Prospect Avenue, New Britain Avenue, and Oakwood Avenue, as well as other areas. And certainly our standalone road projects, whether it be Farmington Ave as part of the West Hartford Center Infrastructure Project, Park Road, Sedgwick Road, New Park Avenue, these all include safety improvements as part of Vision Zero, which will measurably improve safety for all road users in these specific areas. So in total, 284 are listed here for 2026 target. With that, I will turn it over back to you, Rick. I don't know if you have anything, but certainly lots of content here.
Thank you, Parker. Appreciate that overview of this report. And I know there was a lot there, and look forward to questions from our committee. Just one other group I wanted to highlight as well. We do have a Vision Zero Advisory Committee that we work closely with. We meet with them once a month, and it's a number of staff members, Public Works, Engineering, Police, Public Relations, Equity, so a number of staff members, and then member of our Bike West Hartford Pedestrian Bike Commission, as well as a former member of the Pedestrian Bike Commission as well. So wanted to recognize that group who has worked closely with us monthly as we continue our progress towards Vision Zero. So through you, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you and the committee, and happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Like Rick said, that's a lot of information. I just want to start out and ask if there are any committee members that have questions. Counselor Walters.
Uh, I have so many questions, and I am not going to ask all of them here because we don't have the time. But I do want to acknowledge and thank Parker for the presentation there. It was quite full of information, and I did have a chance to kind of look it over last evening, yesterday. Anticipation. Um, question wise, like I said, I have so many, but some things that struck out or that called my attention was it seems as if when we look at our 2025 goals, we put most of our efforts into actions, which I think is probably a great thing because we can talk but without action, um, it's just talk. So I wanted to address that right up front as to where it looked like we may have missed the goals on a couple things, and how we make up for that in 2026, especially when we have so many projects coming online. And I wanted to hit that right up front and get it out of the way because it did sort of strike me. Um, and maybe I misunderstood the graph, but that is one question that I have.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Counselor Walters' question. Yeah, when you look at the graph, you see, to your point, we put a lot of efforts into engineering changes townwide, really starting to get a good start on changing the infrastructure with those projects. So the place where we will step up our efforts this year would be in culture and data as well. So, and I talked about that changing culture, but culture, we have identified at least a dozen projects that would fall under culture that are going to be tied directly to our Safe Streets for All grant, which we now have, as Parker pointed out. So you will see
Yeah, I
that.
know there was some confusion about that. Some thought we got it a couple years ago, and that wasn't the case.
Correct. Yeah, we were notified a couple of years ago. We didn't actually receive the grant and sign off on everything until the first part of January last month of 26. So, so you will see that effort step up over 26 and see a dramatic change in the graph for the 2026 annual report. So, as a number of those projects were tied directly to that grant. So hope that helps answer your question. Happy to dive a little deeper as
Yeah.
well. And Parker, if you wanted to add anything, feel free.
You hit all the points, Rick.
Thank you, Rick, and through you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that explanation, and I know if it were me and I had limited resources, I would go with the actions first. So, and making things happen. So, the other question I have, and then I'll relent, is we in the report there's mention of bump outs, quick builds, medians, and in most cases, I guess what I want to know is what quick builds versus permanent. So, how from this report do I know what's going to be, say, a permanent curb median, for example? And how do I know, when we're looking at new projects like Park Road, I noticed that there were curb extensions on that. Are those going to be the white poles, or are we going to have, you know, curb, actual curb extensions? I want to make that clear. I think I know the answer just because of what I know, but I for the sake of of making sure I'm correct and making sure that the information's out there, How do we know that?
Through you, Madam Chair, I'll start with Councilor Walters' question and certainly return it over to Parker and Greg as well. So great question. We did upwards of 30 quick build projects, definitely in the 20s. As we know, those were quick, efficient, able to apply and in short order. The cost of the quick build program was, less expensive than going permanent. And from our perspective, as I think we relayed to the committee as well last year, that those would be, piloted quick build projects to determine the effectiveness of each of those. From my perspective, I've found them to be very effective in most spots. And certainly, I think the team would agree with that. So at this point, it's making those quick build projects more permanent, which I fully support as well. So, Parker mentioned Cedric. We're redoing Cedric this year. Excited about that. And a lot of what you see on Cedric right now are quick builds, but will become permanent as part of that reconstruction project for Cedric. And that goes with same as Park as well. So Park Road's going through a renovation as well from Quaker to Prospect. And you will see more permanent type of changes for Park as well. So, and then we will be working as a team shortly to take an overall look at our other quick build projects around town, but I would envision many of them becoming more permanent as well. Parker mentioned are working with our public safety, police, and fire, and gathering real concrete data from them in terms of the impact that some of our projects have had town-wide. Overall, obviously, been very positive, but we are seeking feedback from our public safety partners as well to help with that assessment as well. So Parker and Greg, anything? I'm sure there's a lot more you'd want to add to that or correct me on anything that I may have misstated with, so feel free.
Yeah, just from a reporting point, Councilor Walters, any quick build, it says specifically in the list, just quick build curb extension. So if it doesn't have that quick build note in that header, it would be assumed to be a permanent. And just a second note. So for example, Sedgwick Road at LeMay on the report, you'll see that that's in here now as just a pedestrian refuge island. And as you know, it's in there right now as a quick build. So you might see something twice just for reporting reasons, because the idea is that that's now becoming a permanent with the upcoming reconstruction.
Thank you. I don't know if Greg had anything to add.
No, I would just add that it's page 29 and 31 of the report. For your convenience, you'll see those two items listed that Parker referenced.
Great. Thank you for the information. And just one last thing, and I'll give it up. I do want to make sure that I acknowledge and thank all of the staff that have worked really hard on this. I think I know it's been stressful at times, and it's been a lot. And so I do acknowledge and want to make sure that I show my gratitude towards our staff. And as Rick pointed out, the entire family of departments that have really engaged and participated in making Vision Zero come to life. And so with that, Madam Chair, I will relent and give it up.
Okay, does our other committee member have any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair. Couple of things through you. First comment is I love the fact that it's overwhelming how many initiatives are going on right now. To try to keep track of them without notes is impossible, and kudos to all involved. We were on about a month or so ago, we were on a public safety call, and I made a correct assumption with no data, and I was quickly corrected, and I appreciated that from Chief Riddick. And the comment I made is, gosh, it sure seems like drivers or driving patterns or behavior is a lot worse today than it was before COVID, but I've got nothing to prove it. I was quickly corrected that, yes, there's plenty of data to prove it. So with that in mind, Rick, town manager Ledwith, you mentioned at the outset how we're looking to change behaviors with particularly the red light and speed management initiatives. And I love that. Curious if, obviously the wider spread, I know it's legal, I know the initiative is statewide. Has there been any consultation with other towns in the area, Bloomfield, Newington, Avon, Canton, Simsbury, East Hartford, in terms of what they're doing on these two initiatives? Because I certainly agree behavior needs out, but obviously the wider the net, the more likely it is to see a change in that behavior.
Through Madam Chair, to Councilor Lyons, that's a great question. I did talk about changing the culture within our town, which we're working very hard at. And as I said, I think we're making progress in that area. But what we as a team have talked about and have talked to our colleagues and other cities and towns as well, it really, the state has a Vision Zero initiative they're working on. The Capital Region Council of Governments has taken on this initiative as well. So as we start, and we met with CROG this past summer and had a great meeting with them as they were beginning that push to move towards Vision Zero for their member 40 plus communities. So, and brought them around to our projects around town as well. So as we keep pushing Vision Zero and we're doing a lot of education, we talked with our media partners, a lot often as you've seen, obviously the roundabout has been very popular for our friends at NBC. But those are the kinds of things, the more we get out there and talk about it, and our colleagues around the area are asking questions, which are great, and starting to, okay, what is this Vision Zero and how do we start to work there? Because it's really needs to be a statewide effort to change those behaviors, because a lot of things that happen in West Hartford are from folks that don't live in West Hartford, and they're coming from our neighboring communities. We know we're a significant draw to the region for the various amenities that we offer in town. So at the end of the day, we'll only be as successful as our partners are around the state as well. So so we will continue that dialogue and have been, and we'll talk with anyone who wants us to come in and speak with them and talk about our efforts and kind of getting it off the ground. It's shocking to me that talking about our second annual report, and we've been going at this now for 3 years, and we appreciate where we've come from and excited about where we're going. And I think that will, as long as we continue that communication, we will see our colleagues in Hartford County start to move in that direction as well. And I think overall, it's only going to be good for us as a community and as a state to get us all on board with changing that behavior. So probably a long-winded answer to your question, Councilor Lyons, but certainly happy to expand on that as well.
No, not at all. And I can't thank you enough for that answer, because it's going to take, while we, West Hartford, do a lot, and your leadership has been tremendous on this. Obviously, we need more regionally and statewide, to your point. So thank you for that. And Madam Chair, thank you for the time.
Thank you. Do we have questions from any other council members?
May I ask a question, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just want to say, the changes that we put forth in 2025 were really transformative. I mean, just kudos. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know if people still say this, but I'm like tickled pink by just how great the changes have been. When I drive through a community, it's really noticeable, and that you have to start to account for these raised crosswalks and the flex posts, the bump outs. I mean, we are leaving, just to Councillor Lyons' point, we are leaving our neighboring communities in the dust. We really are. And I think part of that, with Vision Zero, a lot of communities talk about Vision Zero, but they don't make that commitment. They're not ready to push outside of their comfort zone. They're not ready to push their citizens a little bit outside of their comfort zone, because zero deaths is radical. And so, I think a lot of communities around the country have embraced Vision Zero as a slogan, but don't realize that it's actually a radical goal to go for zero deaths. So thank you, everybody. I have a few questions. The biggest one is on neighborhood level traffic calming. I think we're seeing really meaningful changes on our major and sort of, I guess, our bigger roads. But the neighborhood traffic calming is still, I think, something we could beef up. Before I became a counselor, I joined a PBC event where there was a lot of interest from parents and advocacy groups and others about how we can make it less onerous for residents to, for example, identify speeding on their own streets, even if it's not a high injury network street. And right now, as many of you all know, the process for neighborhood traffic calming is quite difficult, involving multiple meetings and just a lot of process that kind of stops the outcomes that we want. Certainly on my street, we have children crossing back and forth, including my own daughter and my son and daughter, and the cars really do come too quickly for little, brains and legs to really fully comprehend. So through you, Madam Chair, to either Town Manager Ledwith or to Parker Sorensen, do we have any progress on updating our neighborhood traffic calming protocols?
For you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Wang's question, another very good question. So yes, we, in our Vision Zero efforts have been targeted to, as Councillor Wang said, to, high injury type of areas in town. And that's, very scripted within the program. And we have our neighborhood traffic calming program, which was out separate of our Vision Zero plan. However, it's one of those things, especially for me, as we've moved through that Vision Zero process and understanding, where we were with our neighborhood traffic calming program as well, there is, I think a natural merging of those two concepts. And that's what we are working on right now is taking a look at that, obviously our Vision Zero is very specific targeted. We know where we're going, but taking that neighborhood traffic calming program and, to your point, and others as well that we've heard from around the town is making that a bit more streamlined. And having us giving us the ability with that streamlined approach to getting out there and implementing changes quicker than we've been able to in the past. And as of now, and our town engineer, Greg Summer, has this data as well at his fingertips more distinctly than I do, but I know we have over 50 different requests, and that number may be a little bit low, that we've received townwide, and that's a large number in addition to everything that we've been doing with Vision Zero. So anything that we can do on our end to streamline those efforts, we are doing now. So we're working internally as a team and can have more to report out shortly on that as well. So I don't know, Greg or Parker, if you wanted to add anything to that as well. So appreciate the question, Councillor Wang.
Sure. Thank you, Town Manager Ledwith, and through you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Wang. Just wanted to add to, as we process through, those 50 or so requests, kind of looking at them, comprehensively. throughout town, making sure we're also including some of the neighboring streets as well, recognizing in these grid neighborhoods that if we did traffic calming on one, we'd be getting similar requests on other streets. So we want to make sure that we have the data and are prepared. Should we move forward with the traffic calming, we'd also be able to address other issues that kind of spin off from that. We're also working with our first responders, so the fire department primarily, getting their input and feedback on how some of these measures may impact response time. So that's a really critical piece. We want to make sure that we don't put them in a poor spot where it's actually hindering their ability to get either a fire or a medical call. So that's kind of pulling into our review as well. So we should have some updates, and I believe that'll be on a future agenda for CPED as we continue to look at the traffic calming program.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the issue, just as a quick follow-up, the issue about emergency response times is often brought up as an issue with traffic calming, but I've seen quite a lot of studies that it doesn't mean these things don't meaningfully impact response time. And I've even manually crunched some numbers just from response times pre and post traffic calming in our own town, because we receive those data. It's very similar. It's basically the same. So I would just, encourage us to, keep kind of thinking along those lines of how do we make our neighborhood streets safer. Another quick question, if I may, Madam Chair? Quick.
Sure.
So another issue that I'm hearing a lot from parents, as well as seeing with my own eyeballs, is school drop-off lines as part of Vision Zero. And we had started this conversation, town manager led with offline, but I wanted to just bring it to people's consciousness that school drop-off lines is not really part of our Vision Zero package currently, and that's something that I'm hearing from a lot of parents, is that school drop-off lines feels like one of the most unsafe parts of their day, with the little kids, tall vehicles, rushed parents. It's sort of potentially a volatile mixture. And again, this is something that it's a national issue. It's in peer-reviewed studies, talking about how this is one of the riskiest parts of a child's day. Is there anything we can do to incorporate or think about school drop-off lines, school drop-off safety as part of Vision Zero?
Through Madam Chair, to Councilor Wang's question. Good question. Yes, another good question. So we are, I think, yeah, you brought that question up last week, and what I will do at this point, and I have had a conversation with both our superintendent and our director of security, Eric Dempsey. So what they are doing now is gathering feedback from the principals of the schools and just kind of getting an idea of what are the challenges that we have with drop-off times or drop-off safety. Which, as we know, it's especially at the elementary school level, it can be very hectic in the morning and in the afternoon. So right now we'll let them kind of take a close look at this, and certainly they're very well aware of our Vision Zero efforts, and anything that we can do to help and incorporate, if they see that necessary, into our Vision Zero plan, we will. There are a lot of things that we will be working on directly with our schools in 2026 as part of our Vision Zero efforts. So we do have, expanding our school safety zone program townwide with all 16 schools. That is, as of right now, we have 2 schools, designated school zones. So we will work on that in 26, and that's tied to our Safe Streets for All grant. And that includes reducing speeds down to 20 miles an hour in our school zones. We'll also be looking at, and this actually could tie directly back into that drop-off program, is our Safe Route to School program as well. So that's part of our Vision Zero efforts, and that's working with our school district and identifying the the best, safest way to get to school, walking and biking, and tying motorists into that as well. So that will be done in 2026. We're also working, and this again tied directly to our Safe Streets for All grant, and that's our education efforts at the school, working with our kids, and Counselor Zdanowicz had brought this up in the fall as well, and working with students to develop a K-12 Vision Zero campaign. That's education, that's outreach, that's student-led videos. We did a lot this past year with videos with staff members, but 2026 looking to expand that down into the school level as well. And then we have some, promote walking and biking to school days occurring already, but expanding that with our direct relationship with the school district as well. And that, again, is tied to the Safe Streets for All grant. So I think we have a lot of targeted areas that we'll focus on in 26, working with our schools to make them safer all around. And that includes walking and biking to and from school, but can incorporate the drop off as part of that process as well. But we'll address that more immediately, even without Vision Zero, to Councilor Wang's question. And as I said, we'll work closely with our superintendent and director of security. And I know they've already reached out to our principals to determine what we can do immediately to ensure that process is absolutely as safe as possible. So, Councilor Wang, hopefully I addressed your question there.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate all those all that information. Can I ask one more question about engineering capacity?
I'd like to move on to another. We have other people with their hands up that haven't asked a question. So if we have time at the end, maybe, but I just want to give everybody a chance to ask their questions. Councilor Winograd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Rick, I noticed on the police report of part of the PowerPoint, distracted driving appropriately is almost 1,000 tickets this year. Top three, pretty close, almost a second. We used to have, and it's obviously a huge problem, we used to have a federal grant that would come every year. Are we still getting that grant? I haven't noticed it recently. I'm just wondering if that's still available.
Let me, through you, Madam Chair, to Councilor Winograd's question. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, we do usually get one grant a year. The most recent one was targeted towards DWIs. Let me connect with Chief Riddick and Assistant Chief Tara on the distracted driving. I do still feel like it's my memory. I got too much information up there and squeezing other stuff out, but I kind of recall one in the last year as well. But you're right, we do usually get one about once a year. Let me circle back with our police department and see what we have in the queue.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Winograd. Councilor Harris.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. I just had a question about the data on page 6, where you have the graph showing an increase in, I think, serious injuries for 25. I think it was the highest it's ever been. And I'm just curious if you can kind of just explain that a little bit more, given that we've been doing this now for a few years. Do you expect that number to go down? Why do you think that it went up? Is that related somehow to the fact that these injuries are occurring more on state roads, where maybe we're not doing as much as we are on our town roads? I just was curious why you thought that number is going up instead of down.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Councilor Harris's question, I'll turn it over to Parker to answer that with a little bit more detail. But certainly, yes, we do expect these numbers to come down. So this is year 2 of our efforts, and I'd like to see that number come down in year 3 and progressively come down even more, as I said earlier, to get us to Vision Zero on or before 2033. So that is what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we will get there with everything we're doing and building on the momentum that we built up this year in 2025. And some of the changes we talked about for 26, I see us getting there, and continue that progress. So, but I'll turn the specifics to that question over to Parker.
Yeah, to you, Councilor Harris. It's certainly a point that we've discussed internally as well. I think in terms of the data source, just be aware that this came from the statewide crash data repository at UConn. And essentially what we're reporting here in this graph is anything to be like an A crash as it's coded. It's just those suspected serious injury crashes. I think that we've had a little bit of discussion in terms of the classification of what makes a suspected serious injury to just a typical injury crash might be coming into play here as well. I don't have any answer. This might be best something to circle back with the police as they're filling out these reports on a day-to-day basis. But I know as well in conversation with the traffic sergeant at PD, they'll highlight a significantly less number of kind of a life-altering crashes as what they have as an internal statistic. But to be consistent with our reporting thus far, we've been taking just the data right from the UConn data repository.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the info.
Okay, Counselor Wang, you had another question?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, through you, Madam Chair. This is probably to the engineers. We've heard from our pedestrian bike committee that we may be lacking in enough engineering capacity. There's a lot of project. We see the amount of work you guys are doing, and for DPW as well, by the way. I mean, thank you. But I also see $243,000 for consultants, and that pays for a lot of internal capacity. Can we rebalance the amount we're spending, less on consultants or maybe zero on consultants, and evaluate whether we need to build more internal capacity here? And that may save us money as well, because the consultants, I'm sure, don't come cheap.
Through you, Madam Chair. So to Councilor Wang's question, a couple of levels to that question. So in terms of outside consulting, we do have a tremendous staff working hard, as you noted, accomplished a lot over the last year and actually over the last 2 years. And you look at our projects for 26, and we're only increasing those numbers and pushing to accomplish even more to get us to zero. So when we bring in a consultant, it's usually to assist with some expertise that we don't have internally, and they're usually one-time type projects. So overall with Vision Zero, in terms of what we're trying to accomplish, I think we have the expertise in the staff with the assistance of our Public Works Department to keep doing what we've been doing and accomplish as much in 26, if not more, than we did in 25. But if we don't have that expertise, like with the speed enforcement camera program, we'll bring in a consultant to help us. And it was tremendously helpful to us as a staff to ultimately put together a as folks have seen, a very, very comprehensive report and program that we submitted to the state. So that's where we will tie in that consulting line item. So we will do so in the future as well when needed, but certainly we'll always circle back with the council prior to doing so. In terms of overall staff and yeah, could we use some assistance in engineering? Of course, if we could use it in Public Works as well, of course. We also have to be cognizant of the impact adding staff has, and this is probably a broader question for several other committees as well, and in terms of our overall budget and maintaining that balance for our residents and our taxpayers. And so what we are doing now is looking at the revenue stream that will be coming in, at least initially, with our speed camera program and ultimately our red light camera program. We're looking at another camera program for our school buses as well. So all of those revenue streams will help us with offsetting our current costs. And then if we add staff to offset directly dollar for dollar that staff as well. So we're assessing all those potential revenue streams with our current staffing, and if we're able to do that without having ideally an offsetting impact on our budget, that's ultimately what we will try to accomplish. So we're looking at it now, assessing that, and we will continue that kind of conversation internally and work with our council as well, especially as we move through and into the budget season, as we're just literally days away from doing so. Short answer to your question, sorry for the long-windedness, Councilor Wang, is we're taking a look at it and certainly looking at all of the revenue streams that would potentially offset that. So.
All right, thank you. Very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, we can wrap this presentation up. Again, thank you so much for all the work that's put into this report and all the work that's been done around town. We made great progress from where we were, and I know we're just going to keep on moving forward. So can't thank you all enough for everything y'all have been doing. Rick, did you have anything to say to close up this presentation, or? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that, Madam Chair. Appreciate all the questions and the feedback. We have a couple things to circle back on, but we appreciate the committee's overall cooperation in our efforts, and the council and mayor as a whole. So, and look forward to a great 26, and we're off to a great planning process in terms of accomplishing even more in 26, and look forward to sharing that with the committee as we move throughout the year. So that wraps up our Vision Zero annual report. We did have a community development department update, and Matt, I know we've kept everyone on for over an hour now. Certainly I can have Dwayne give a quick overview, or there's nothing that the committee would need to act on in that report, and we can push it off till March if that serves the committee well.
That is fine with me. I think we've lost Councilor Walters. I think he had to head to work. I see Councilor Lynn.
No objection here, Madam Chair. No objection here.
Okay, that's great. So do we have any future agenda items? Does anyone have any?
So we will, just for the committee's perspective, and the chair and I had a conversation about this as well. We have House Bill 8002. We are working internally with our planning division and Corporation Council as well to, and been working with a couple of outside agencies as well, CCM and CROG, to name two, on the impact that this bill has on us as a town, specifically as a state as well. And there are changes that we will need to implement for July 1st. So we'll be bringing that topic forward to CPED. If it's not, we'll try to do it for March. March, we're going to be doing budget, which will take up a lot of time. If we can't do it in March, we'll do it in April. But I just want to tie back with Dwayne Martin and Todd Dumais and ensure that still gives us enough time to do what we need to do for July. But do know that that topic is coming forward shortly. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so if there are no other future agenda items, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And I guess I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And thank you guys. Very informative meeting. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.